It's the end of a lot of hard work. It's something that we wanted from, as a prosecutor, since I took over the case, to file charges against her. So it is the end of a long road, and basically getting the two individuals that were involved in Robert's death convicted, and that's done now.
And what are the next stages after this?
The next stages, both of them will be sentenced. Jonathan Hearn has an upcoming sentencing. I don't know the exact date, and then her sentencing November 3rd.
Is there anything that you need to be worried about at this point as we're approaching those sentencing stages?
No. I mean, I'm sure there'll be upcoming motions, and that's not something I'm particularly worried about now, but something I'll deal with at a later time.
So how much time is she looking at exactly if we kind of bring to total the counsel?
25 to life.
What was it like building your case, having the star witness be the admitted killer?
Yes, he was the admitted killer, but then the reason that we did it was the other things as well. We had his cell phone that we were able to download. Previously, we had her cell phone, but we didn't have all the text messaging from the days following. And so we were able to get the text messaging that she did with Jonathan Hearn, and that's where this kind of started, is when we saw what she had written, when we saw what the content was, we were able to connect that with the wiretaps, able to connect that with her own statements and her moving on. That's when we decided to go forward with the case.
You mentioned anything about possibility of parole? I was listening.
That's the Department of Corrections. That has nothing to do with me.
Got it. So that will happen during sentencing, we'll know then.
Yes.
So nothing about that now.
Were you surprised that Sabrina Limon took the stand?
How do you think the media coverage and it just being so high profile impacted this case?
As it relates to media coverage, I didn't really follow it. I don't know how it impacted the case. I was made aware that there were people that would watch it during the day. So it didn't affect me as it relates to going into court and putting my case on. So whether or not people were watching it, I mean, hopefully they were able to see how the court system works, able to see, a jury trial in action. So hopefully it was positive as it relates to that.
And from your perspective, what was it like to work on a big case like this that ended up garnering such national attention and just really kind of had so much focus?
Well, I mean, these types of cases, murder cases, that's what I regularly do, so it's not out of the ordinary as it relates to cases. But what I'd like to say is it was truly an honor to work with the detectives from the Kern County Sheriff Department. I didn't have the case when it initially started. I got it about a year and a half into it. And just to see all the countless hours they put in, different detectives, and then the subsequent amount of work that we put in and working with them, it was an honor to work with them on this case.
With all the hard work you guys put into this, of course, a victory today, and all the weeks and the preparation for this, but just taking away as you move further from today and the victory that you guys experienced, this is the verdict you were going for. Tell me what's going on with you professionally in this.
It's all about justice for the families. That's what we're here for. As it relates to me, it has nothing to do with me. It has to do with them being able to move on, to have that closure, to have justice for their families, and that's what it's about.
How were the families, since it's one family essentially, how was that?
Well, I'm not a hugger, but I hugged a lot of people today, so it felt like I felt their relief. I felt their realization of justice for Robert, and so I think that's important.
Was there any time during the case that you were thinking, of course, because you don't know what the outcome's going to be
right.
until that time. Was there any time during the case that there was that didn't go as you hoped? I don't know how to ask that correctly, but I mean, because you do your job every day.
Well, right. Every trial has its ups and downs, and it's when you get to the end, all you can hope for is that you did the best you could, and that's all I go for every day. And I thought that evidence came out the way I wanted it to, and then the result is, of course, what I wanted. So.
What was the most nerve-wracking element for you?
Probably having you guys sit in throughout the trial was probably it became normal, but it was initially a little bit nerve-wracking. But that everything else is it's another trial.
So. Going into this, kind of what were your initial thoughts on how today would end? Did you think that she would for sure get for murder guilty?
Yes, I wouldn't have charged the case. I wouldn't have prosecuted the case unless I thought she was going to get guilty for first-degree murder.
you did a fair job as well. It just was a matter of, you know, the facts and the jury members hearing the facts.
Right, and it's not, I mean, that's the thing, it's our job is to present it and is to advocate for it, and what the 12 members of our community decide is what it is, and that's what we face every trial we do.
What was the most rewarding moment of today?
Being able to hug the family was pretty special afterwards. I mean, that's, like I said, it's not something I normally do, but being able to do that was special.